of Fire and Ice. Let's get into this. After going back on their planet to go on more adventures around the world. And they also had their pet dragons. But before that, before getting back on Earth, they would head to the dragon shop, where there is tons of dragons that fit your power. Person says, gather... Oh, dang it, I don't have a lot of money. Isaiah combined, he says, Isaiah combined their money. They combine their money, and, well, actually, no, everyone has to pay their shares. So everyone pays their shares for their dragon, and then he pays for it, and then he gets all their dragons. As you know, Alex gets the water dragon, Ray actually, gets the lightning dragon. She gets the... Look, I forgot what power Robert had. So look, he's gonna have a good power, honestly. I'm just gonna say he has telekinesis, so he can lift things up, like with just his mind. So I guess he's gonna have a purple dragon. Emma, I'm not sure. I'm just pretty sure she'd have like an orange dragon, because like fighting type, orange, super strength. And of course, Christian and Isaiah had their red and blue dragons. Then they head off the planet. Christian says, woohoo, we're doing good. Actually, no, they wouldn't head off yet. Christian says, gosh dang it. She says, what's wrong? He says, these dragons are huge and they won't fit. He says, hold on, actually, I just realized something. Press the button on the left. She says, oh, they say, okay, and they press it and then the dragons turn small. He says, there we go, much better. If you put them on like their little cage thing and press a button, they turn tiny. So now we can fit them on the rocket ship. And they'll be small and then they head out. Emma says, that sister of yours really is a brat. Ray says, agreed, she is one. She called her father in the middle of the fight. When we literally specifically made the rules, he can't come. It's literally a 6-on-6 battle. And how'd that turn out for him? Christian says, well, that was pretty fun in the fusion. We were insanely powerful, and that was fun. Isaiah says, agreed, that was the best thing I've ever done. We can always use that if we're in a dire situation, but I don't want to use that all the time, because that just takes away the fun of the fight. Alex says, you enjoy fights? He says, yeah, I really do enjoy fights. They're fun. I like getting hyped into them. I don't like if they last too long. That's when we'll activate fusion, so then they'll easily just overpower the enemy. And I'm pretty sure that the fire and ice fusion is pretty powerful when it's fire and ice users. But there's one thing, if you can't actually get a fire user to fuse with another fire user and an ice user to fuse with another ice user, they aren't much stronger. They're pretty weak, but they're not they're strong, but not as strong as like the fire and ice fusion. She says, also, aren't you guys fused? Why is your hair just black? Christian says, because it makes more sense. We wouldn't have random colors. Like, that kind of does make sense for us to weirdly have blonde. Also, Dragon Ball Logic says, mostly Dragon Ball Logic. Oh, look, pretend like he has blonde streaks in the back of his hair, is what Kai has. Is the fusion, of course, if you don't remember. He says, well, we don't really know. Maybe the next time we'll fuse, it'll maybe pop up. Because the fusion is not always the same, it's always looking different. But our abilities are always the same. That's why we always are unpredictable. Because our abilities are always the same and they don't realize it. They always think we've changed, but nah, our techniques are awesome. Then they arrive on Earth. Friends, it's good to be back. Let's go. Then Christian presses the button and then Frostwing. Well, actually, they take out Frostwing first and then they press the button. Then they all get on their dragons and ride around. Christian says, finally, we don't have to use our powers and waste our energy. We just have to use our dragons to fly us around. Look out, here comes the Dragon Rider. She also says, also, what can these dragons do? Christian says, Emma says, what can these dragons do? Christian says, well, they can basically shoot stuff from their mouth, like fire, ice, water, lightning from like their hands and wings. They can propel, and wind also. A wind dragon is pretty cool, but no one really has a wind dragon because the wind dragons are really rare. Christian says, y'all want to go to the beach? They all say, sure, let's go. Well, actually, no, Christian wouldn't say this, since he doesn't even know the world that well. Emma says, you guys want to go to the beach? They all say, yeah! Then they head off to the beach. Christian says, good luck, Frostwing! Guys, have fun! And they go off, and the dragons go off. Then Christian, Isaiah, and Alex go surfing. Christian says, this is awesome, but also not that fun because I want to make he says, there's only one way to make this more fun. And freezes the water when he's in midair. He says, now get a photo! They get a photo, and Christian says, bring my phosphor, yeah, boy. And I was just stuck there. He says, well, I guess I meant to stay here. Then he says, wait a minute, Isaiah, can't we fly? He goes, yeah. He says, do you mind melting this ice, please? He says, yeah, sure. And melts. But when he tries to melt it, it doesn't melt. So he just kicks it with the super strength and instantly destroys it. He says, good. Now it's time for, let's spar for a little bit. Let's try and see how we pair up against each other. Probably just going to be even because of how, literally, our fusion was literally how strong we were when we were fighting her together. But here's the thing: when it had a rival. Let me name on the boost that it gives us. We got a rival boost, a brother boost, a friend boost, and multiple other boosts. The fact that the fusion was done the first time makes it much more stronger. Then they get ready. They float up to the sky, and then they start spar going. Christian says, I'm at a disadvantage here because I can't shoot my ice up here. I have to be on the ground too. Then Christian flies going. He says, and shoots an ice beam, but it's instantly countered by Isaiah's flamethrower attack. Christian jumps going, jeez, I'm not good at this. He says, but I have a technique that he doesn't have. Frost breath! And freezes Isaiah going, He goes, dang it! And then breaks out and burns out the ice with fire. He goes, whoa, you had frost breath? Christian says, yeah, it's pretty strong. Then Isaiah says, well, I have fire breath. Christian says, ice breath! And then they actually clash, with none of them actually losing. Then Christian says, ice beam! And hits him, only freezing his arm. Isaiah just burns it out and hits Christian with a flamethrower. Christian goes, damn it! What the hell? Then he goes, you just missed it. Then he falls into the water and dies so low. He says, this is what I need. Then he puts an ice orb underwater that's slowly freezing the water as he flies up to the sky going, ah! And Isaiah blocks. He goes, ah! Then Christian instantly appears maneuvers behind him and says, I'm right behind you! Then kicks him down to the water. He goes, ah! And makes him collapse on the ice. Make him fall into the ice and underwater. He says, but then a red light flares out of the water going, and Isaiah was insanely strong in it. So basically when he gets attacked, Christian gets hit by this, he goes, But then when Isaiah looks, he took some of the damage, but he still did take a lot of the damage because he activated a little ice orb, which would protect him a little bit. Christian says, "Dang, Isaiah, you're pretty good." He says, "You're really good." Isaiah says, "You're really good." He says, "Let's keep on going." And they keep on clashing. Like,
Yes, you are. You're not going to Tony's. You keep being a white
My flipping god. Welcome back. Let's just get back into this. So, after sparring for a while, they create a big shock. Isaiah says, "Fire punch!" Christian covers his hand nice and says, "Ice punch!" Then they clash, going, sending a shockwave back, which hits Emma and Ray and Robert, knocking them back, along with Alex. They go, "Ah!" Then Ray yells, "Baka! You could have got us in trouble! Or even worse, used us for our DNA!" Christian says, "Baka! You're the one who literally just exposed us! Now we are gonna get chased! We could have been using jetpack propellers or some crap and using shockwave punches, but no, you had to release it! Now we have to go!" Christian ice path in the sky somehow and goes, and says, and then everyone's chasing after them. They're all running. Christian, they all whistle going, I can't whistle. Christian goes, "Eerie!" Then Frostwing comes and Christian jumps on Frostwing, tapping himself so his clothes come out. Because like he has like a little like pod thing on his chest where if he presses it, he can instantly suit up his clothes. Then he goes, "Ah!" He put in like 100 pair of clothes and there's already dish soap there's already cleaner and water in there which cleans up his clothes inside the pod thingy. They turn tiny and then he cleans them inside of the little pod thing. Then they fly off. Christian says, "Look out, here comes the Dragon Rider." Then they get arrow shot at them. He says, "Frostwing, do it." He goes, "Arrow," and freezes him. And freezes all them all and says, "Run!" They all fly away. Christian says, "Not a moment's peace here." Ray says, "This is your fault. If you guys didn't want to spar, this wouldn't happen." Christian says, "We weren't even getting caught. If you didn't expose us, we wouldn't have been like this." Christian says, "Well, are we ever going to go back to school since it's still summer vacation?" He says, "Yeah, we kind of do have to, or else my parents are going to get mad at me." She says, "Okay." That's not good. Then they encounter 100 attack robots. Christian says, "Attack robots! Dang it!" He says, "We can fight them though." Christian says, "Frost breath and frost wing." They freeze 10 of the robots. Then Emma comes with her fighting with her dragon, uses both of his feet to destroy 5, and she destroys 5. Going, Then Christian jumps in the air going, "Dokimoto Mosuga!" Then shoots an ice ball down again, freezing one. Then Isaiah says, "Flamethrower!" melting 20 of them. Then Christian comes in and kicks, defeating 5 of them, more of them. Then Alex says, water stream! He says, "Raging wave!" Then creates a giant raging wave from the heavens and collapses on 20 of them. Then Ray says, "Lightning finger!" Then comes in with 2 fingers with lightning at the end, cutting 2 of them in half, then keeps on cutting through them. And there's only 10 left. I'm not that good at counting. Rodrigo, out here. I'm gonna call him, Rodrigo, jumps in here going, "Ah! Telekinesis!" Then uses 2 fingers on each hand to smash them into each other, going, dun, dun, dun. Then they fall to the ground. Then when they fly away, 2 scientists come and get the robots to maybe increase their strength by 10-fold than they used to be, so it would be harder for those guys to get past them. Because they really don't want them to get past. They want that blood and DNA. Then Emma says, "Is there anyone here who's nice? Do you guys know anyone who's actually nice and not trying to take our blood?" Christian says, "Isaiah, you know that one person, right?" He goes, "Yes, I do." He says, "Back to the planet." They fly to the sky and head back to Planet Ablaze. I'm gonna call it Planet Ablaze since it was originally had by the fire. Christian knocks on a door, and an old man walks out with a staff. He says, "Ah, Isaiah, Christian. Hello, my students." They both say, "Master Wu!" Since my friend did love the name Master Wu for his name, he's gonna be called Master Wu. They both go, "Master Wu!" and hug him. He says, Yes, so what is this?" He says, "We're being chased all around Earth." He says, "Why were you there?" Christian says, "We were tricked by our father to go there instead of being home. Because they had a fake attack on the planet. The attack robots are coming, and now I'm pretty sure they're sending attack robots every single day at us, and we always have to defend against them." He says, "That's horrible." He says, "Well, do you guys want to come with us to Earth?" He goes, "Sure." He says, he whistles, and then a giant dragon comes, and Christian stands on it. And then he stands on it saying, "This is my fire and ice dragon." Then they head off and go. He says, "But before we go, I have someone you want to meet. You might want to see." Christian goes, "Is it one of your pervy girlfriends? Is it one of your another perviness?" He says, "No, what do you mean? No. Isaiah says, by the tone of your reaction, I'm pretty sure it is. Master Wu." He says, "Actually, no, it's your mom, right here. She never died. The king faked it. So then you two would be sad and want revenge, so then you guys would be known galactic criminals for killing a planet for no reason." Christian says, "Wow, what a dumb She says, "I've been living with Master Wu for about 5 days, since you guys left. Because I faked my death." Christian says, "Oh, well, let's get going." Then they head off. Their mom, Remy, sits on top of the other one. Sits on top of the ice dragon since she's used to ice dragons, not used to fire dragons. Then they head off. Chris would go, "Look out, here comes the Dragon Rider." Then they fly off. Then they make it back to Earth, and then Christian says, "We better build like a mansion or something. We better build something." Then they fly around. Christian says, "Guys, look at that abandoned mansion." Their mom says, "Sweetie, you know we can't go in that. It's abandoned." Christian says, "Exactly." Then Isaiah says, "Eee what it is." Then they all go, except for their mom, "Eee what it is." She says, "You young people, I don't know what you guys say these days." Christian says, "We said it is what it is, because literally, we all have powers here that can clean the house except for Isaiah, because he's just going to burn the house down." He goes, "Hey!" Christian says, "Not my fault your power's fire, and you literally burn everything." He says, Soon you'll be able to get magma, even though magma is not that strong. I think I'd rather stick with fire." He says, "Yeah, I'd rather." So then when they head to the abandoned mansion, instantly it's all dirty and rusty. Christian freezes the entire house going, "Ah!" Then then he activates his water, which overfloods the house with water. Then Isaiah evaporates all the water, and evaporates the water, turning it into a thing. And it's all gone. Then he also evaporates the thing, and then the house is kinda. Christian says, "All right, Rodrigo, Ray, it's your guys' job to put electricity in the house. They go, okay. Christian says, we can build our own TVs. Wait a minute. Then Christian looks for spare parts. Christian says, I'll go look around for spare parts for maybe like there's like extra, like a left down TV that we can fix. And some furniture. Christian looks outside and says, wow, all the stuff was completely placed out here and it's all clean. Nothing happened to it. Christian, he says, but it is kind of moldy now. He freezes it, then he breaks the ice so that it's all clean now. Then he takes in the furniture going, and says, got brand new furniture easily. He says, how'd you afford that? Christian says, I didn't. It was outside the house, so I cleaned it. I cleaned every crevice of it. And places all the furniture down, and then a TV, because I was also there. He says, now we just need to, Christian says, maybe other citizens don't know. Then, after they get everything set up in the house, and the dragons get their own room, their own playroom, and like their sleeping room, technically, then they watch TV. Then they see a news report saying, these 6 will no longer be hunted for their blood. Scientists have realized that they are way too hard to catch, and they're risking too many lives just to get some blood. And they are allowed to come back in the city. Isaiah says, yay, we can come back! Alex says, I know, right? Like, that's amazing, they finally stopped. Emma says, woohoo! Rodrigo does. And Remy says, what the heck happened? Isaiah says, we were hunted for our blood since we had powers. She goes, oh, but they're no longer doing it. She goes, yeah. They all cheer except for Christian. Isaiah says, Christian, aren't you happy? Christian says, no, I'm not happy. It's literally a damn trap. It's literally a damn trap for us to come back into the city so they can steal us. Then also the news report says, there will be free ice cream for all of them for an apology for chasing them. Christian says, see? That's obviously fake. They obviously want us to go into the store so they can trap us. I'm not doing this. Even if they get a slight bit of their blood, they're going to use it to make more, then make more, then make more. I'm not letting them do this. Like, you guys can go out if you want. I'm staying home. I'm never going there. Christian says, I'm gonna go now. Then he goes upstairs and goes to sleep. They say, party pooper, we're going. Then Christian goes. Then, in the morning, he sees that they're already gone. They left a note. Then, out of nowhere, then when he wakes up, he has a note on his bed, and he says, hi, Christian, this is Isaiah. If you ever get this note, you probably didn't want to come with us. You probably didn't come follow us. If we are out in the city enjoying our lives while you are being a boomer sitting inside. Love, Isaiah. Christian goes, wow, not my fault. Then he goes to watch TV. And goes, Then he gets a news report saying, we have successfully trapped 5 of the power wielders. The 6th one will be hunted and finally caught. Christian says, Baka! He yells, Baka! That's it, I have to go. He says, Frostwing, let's go. They're all stuck in like a chained prison, where every day they get experimented for their blood. Christian's planning out an escape route for them, going while they're getting their blood taken every single time. Then while frosting then he goes, after that, then I'll do this, then I'll do that, then I'll do this. But then he senses a forest fire outside. He says, dang it, blizzard! And then the blizzard stops it. All the animals run to him happily. happy that they were saved by someone else. Usually the humans hunt them, not save them. It's okay, guys. Then he says, come in. Then he freezes them all and unfreezes them, saying, there you go, y'all clean now. Now we can discuss this. Everyone, do you all trust me? And for some reason, he has telepathy with them and he can talk with them. Well, they have telepathy. He says, what the hell? They all talk, saying, thank you for saving us. Usually we are hunted by you humans, but we thank you for this. Person says, nah, it's aight. They go, we would like to help you save your friends, because we hate the humans. Person says, exactly. So we gotta plan an escape route with all you guys. He goes, alright. It's usually just, oh yeah, and the more, there's like 20 animals there. Mostly it's wolves and foxes and bears. He says, don't worry, this is Frostwing. The big guy right here, Frostwing, he's good. And pets him on the head. He goes, freezing the TB. He says, damn it, Frostwing. Then he unfreezes it. Then he goes and then they devise a real strategy. He says, alright guys, let's go. You guys will stay back until I get there. Christian says, and that strategy was... Then Christian arrives there going, shh. They say, I've been waiting for you. The final boss who captured them, and then his 20 army men. He says, you're done, Christian. We have guns that all point at you. Christian laughs, going, bro, you guys are so stupid. Why would you surround me? Now you're really done. He goes, what are you gonna do? He whistles, going, animals, attack! They all go, ah! Killing all the soldiers, going, ah, yeah. He says, animals, sick 'em, get him! Then all the animals are launched back by some force. He says, telekinesis? But only Rodrigo has that. He says, damn it, he must have got some of his blood. But then fire comes at him. He dodges out of the way, saying, damn it, he got Isaiah too. He says, oh, I need ice, and then I will have the perfect power. I will have the hexagon of power. If I have 6 powers. Christian says, you will not get my blood. Then he shoots an ice beam at him, but he stops it. Then they have a cool battle. But then he feels 2 things latch onto his legs. He says, nice snakes. He goes, ugh. And they're also, he says, might want to watch out. Those are poisonous. Then he shoots at the snakes, but then the snakes slither out of the way, going. Then a bear comes and grabs onto him, going. Christian says, but then he pushes back the bear, going. Then he goes, ice, net the ice, and then gets kicked by the bear, going, whoa, and then falls to the ground. Christian goes, damn. Christian says, Frostwing now! He goes, roar! With a pinpoint accuracy shot, presses the open button, and then the jail cell opens for them. Then Christian kicks him in the face, going, ah! Then he says, ice ball! And it's an ice energy ball, so he throws it, going, and explodes on impact. Then Isaiah and all of them get ready. Christian says, all out attack! Christian says, here it goes. Then when he tries to run the other way, Master Wu is right behind them, going, you're not going anywhere. Then he shoots ice spikes, and Christian also does, and Isaiah shoots a flame blast, and so does Master Wu. They all shoot their strongest attacks, going, ah! Christian goes, hey! Then they kill him and defeat the entire society. And then force the society to leave them alone. The society finally does, literally this time, not joking. So, after that, they head straight back home. Isaiah says, how'd you get with the animals? Christian says, I think I have a 3rd ability. He says, what is it? He says, I think I have telepathy with animals. Because for some reason I could hear voices of them, from them talking to me. About how they wanted to do stuff, how they wanted to help me, since I saved them from a forest fire, which is literally right outside our house. he says, he says, all right, guys, have fun. Do not get caught. Remember, he puts like a bell thingy on them, so whenever they hear the sound, they all rush to go help one of their comrades. He'll kill the hunter. They all agree, and then they head out. He says, that was fun. But then he realizes, wait, that's an Arctic wolf. He picks it up saying, hey, little guy, because he's small, he's a baby. He says, would you like to stay with me? It goes, Christian says, okay, that's a good answer. I guess I will keep you. And then he pets it on the head, saying, wait a minute, there's also a firefox. Isaiah, want the firefox? Isaiah says, yep. Then they stay inside. Christian says, this is awesome. A couple of months later, after training a while, they're pretty strong, with them having a lot of room and Christian training. Then their mom says, hey guys, you guys are missing something. Christian says, what? She says, there's horses that you guys can use for your powers. They help. They're like a knight. Christian says, that sounds kind of stupid, so I'm not going to do it. She said, well, it's not, but whatever. Christian says, well, I'm bored. What do you guys want to do? They all say, play Uno? Christian says, I'm down for Uno. They just play going. And now for this 2-minute break. Whatever, back to this. So, I'm ready. I'm done. I'm done here.